I was watching a video from the member of the Young Turks who could be, and you know this is a competitive field, could be the cringiest dude on the whole channel. It's not St. Francis, it's not Brown Fabio, it's not Keek, it's not Hook-Nose Anna. It's not even Brett, who I recently declared to be the cuckiest cuckboy in the soyosphere. It's this geek named Rick Strom, who was a sports guy. So just imagine what we're talking about. He covers sports for a network, a fake network, like an online make-believe network, whose sole focus is to try to get Bernie Sanders elected and to say fuck Trump. So it has nothing to do with sports. The sports idea was a throwaway. It was just part of this egotistical notion that Keek had, that we are so popular, I'm going to take over the world. Let's do segments on culture and we'll have TYT makeup. And I mean, it was... So anyway, you had to have a guy to read off the scores and to cover sports. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know how you could compete with actual sports stations. I mean, you can't. So basically what Rick Strom has done is completely left that project. Like, they don't do sports. As far as I can tell, no one watches, no one cares. So what he does is just pure, concentrated, regressive nonsense. And we're talking about per capita, this guy has more white guilt. And yes, if he's not Jewish, I don't know who is in this world. So, I mean, technically it's not white guilt, but it is subversive and it's anti-white. Like, we'll put it that way. And also just wildly demeaning to black people, that he thinks that he is somehow helping them. So this gimp did a video recently, which I will not bore you with. The premise of it was, colossally unimportant. He found some black cheerleaders who took a knee to follow Kaepernick because this guy has a raging boner for Kaepernick, unrivaled in the history of boners. The man needs a serious intervention. It's absolutely crazy that they let this guy stroke the completely irrelevant person known as Colin fucking Kaepernick and post out video after video, tweet after frigging tweet. I mean, if you ever want to amuse yourself, go look at how much Rick Strom is into Colin Kaepernick. You've never been into anything. A fat kid never loved cake as much as this kid loves Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Kaepernick, Kaepernick and Kaepernick, Kaepernick, Kaepernick.
It's quite possibly the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. But he's doing a video like cheerleaders were taking a knee and somehow they got in trouble, like they got cut from the team, and it probably wasn't for their attitude or whatever else. No, it's because they're bleeps and it's, oh my God, injustice.
Kennesaw State University takes on Georgia State. The buzz is about the 5 KSU cheerleaders who took a knee.
I mean, we're talking about some high school cheerleader. I mean, it's just, okay, mental. But at the tail end of that video, he said something which kind of gets to the root of who this man is. He brought up the topic of oppression. So bleeps are being oppressed by whites, specifically whites. It's not just history and circumstance or, I don't know, sickle cell, whatever. It's us. It's got to be us. Because we are the only thing holding them back from just Wakandaing out in real life. And he brought up a number of years that we whites have been oppressing the bleeps. Would you care to venture a guess? I mean, so if you're a bleep today and you buy into this, let's say you're a 25-year-old bleep, you might say, I've been oppressed for 25 years. Now that is a very suspicious statement. And it's nowhere near, well, first of all, it's not true. But second of all, it won't satisfy them. It doesn't come with enough gravitas. You walk into a room, man, I've been oppressed for 25 years. People are like, you were oppressed from 0 to 5? What happened there? You were denied diapers? Like, what was going on? You don't even have memory of that time. So let's start investigating this I was oppressed narrative. So then what you do, let's say you're a 25-year-old black man, you say, okay, well, let me just extend it. Me and my people. I'll say we. We've been oppressed for, and then, no, now we can just open it up. Yeah, what was your parents going through? Add that to your oppression. So now you got, what, like 60, 70 years? I mean, you're adding it up. So why don't you go with the grandparents? Why don't you go with 150 years? That would be a huge chunk of time. That would be from the end of slavery till now. Now, you weren't alive, so let's be clear. You were not conscious. You didn't get any of this oppression. You live in modern-day America and have more rights and freedoms than anybody on the planet in the history of humankind. So you have no reason to bitch and gripe, and yet you do. But no one stops at 150 years. No, might as well go 400. That's the new thing. Because there was an article written by, I don't know, New York Times or the Washington Post or somebody, where they said, America, you really need to talk about 400 years, because that's when the first slave ships arrived. And somehow, a smattering of slaves, that's somehow these people today. They are somehow tied together like the Borg, some sort of mind meld of oppression. And it sounds big. 400 years, for 400 years. Didn't Deontay Wilder have some spurg out where he was talking about his people aren't free and they've been struggling for 400 years?
I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I said by that. I ain't got to go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I tell you, just sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man. It's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know what I'm talking about?
It's just the weirdest thing. I was just watching The Watchmen, and on the latest episode, they have Dr. Manhattan, who has been blackwashed. Yes, he has. Being played by a black man. Played well, but still a very crazy casting choice. I mean, that show is absolutely, completely anti-white and pathetically racist. But this character, he doesn't experience linear time. He knows all things that have happened and that will happen. And that's how people talk about this so-called oppression. Now, there is no oppression. I mean, that's the bottom line. Like, maybe in history, you might have had a case, but you don't. You don't, and so now you're left with no excuses. So you just create one. You're not a time traveler, you don't own a DeLorean, and you're not Dr. Manhattan, even though someone who looks like you was cast to play him. But 400 years, even though that's a powerful statement, oh my God, who can stand in the way of 400 years? That's torture. What man could endure that? Well, none, because no one has. But rhetorically, to say that, you come off high and mighty. Oh my goodness. But Rick Strom, he's not impressed by that. Rick Strom has taken it to the next level. I'm impressed. Rick, I mean, look, in this video, he's wearing a De La Soul shirt, which is a black group, a musical group of Bleeps. And he's a white, but he's wearing a Bleep shirt. I mean, come on. This guy is so down with the cause, it's ridiculous. An ally? Of course he's an ally. Would a non-ally wear a De La Soul shirt? I don't think so, dude. Well, I'm wearing a shirt, and it's from the band Nirvana, and they're an all-white band. Not a single black in the band Nirvana. All white, always has been, always will be. I don't know, what was that dude's name? That little fella they brought on? He was a bit Hispanic. He was unfortunately not white, but, you know, I'm willing to... life isn't perfect, okay? Trying to make an omelet, you're gonna have to break a few Latin eggs. Rick Strom has come up with a new number of the years black people have been oppressed. Are you ready? Let's watch.
The list of deflections from powerful entities like Kennesaw State to individuals simply wanting to bring awareness to the problems plaguing our society have a long history. From Kurt Flood to Colin Kaepernick, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, the Black 14.
The Black 14, is that from Reality Kings? Are you talking inches?
The list goes on, and so does, from this man's perspective, the story of black and white in America. It brings me pain to see the same talking points echoed as the years go by to present day.
Oh, I feel the pain. Wow, he personally feels pain. Oh my God, Rick, you are a superhero of empathy. Can I thank you? As a white representative of the white race, can I thank you on behalf of the Bleeps for your noble effort and the pain that you've taken off of them? For all the pain you feel for them, they don't have to feel that. So well done, Rick.
It is white America's misunderstanding of the black struggle and failure to step outside of the Skechers to comprehend the hundreds of thousands of years of oppression.
That's a doozy, Rick.
It is white America's misunderstanding of the black struggle and failure to step outside of the Skechers to comprehend the hundreds of thousands of years of oppression.
Could you tap the brakes there? Time out. I'm not even going to address the fact that you just said hundreds of thousands of years. Don't adjust your volume. This is not Richard Dawkins talking about evolution. No, that's Rick Strom talking about blacks in America. That's what he's referencing, having struggled and being oppressed for hundreds of thousands of years. So he took the 400 number and I raise you, hold my beer, hold my matzo ball. And he said, not just 100,000 years. Rick, please trace back the lineage of your gay lover, Colin Kaepernick. Trace that back 100,000 years. Where are we? What are we talking about? Are we on the savannah? Where are we living, Rick? What are we wearing? What the hell does that look like? Rick, who is responsible for the oppression of bleeps for hundreds? I mean, at that stage, have you not diluted the word oppression to utter meaninglessness? You evaporated the word. You did to the word what Dr. Manhattan did to Rorschach. And I'm not over the little jab. Did you see he took a little jab at us? With the shoe comment? He said white people need to get out of their Skechers for a second to appreciate the hundreds of thousands of years of oppression. Where did you pick that up on Black Twitter?
It is white America's misunderstanding of the black struggle and failure to step outside of their Skechers to comprehend the hundreds of thousands of years of oppression.
I don't understand. Are Skechers a white thing? Are Skechers bad? What's wrong with fucking Skechers? It's an amazing brand. Hey Rick, should we put down our mayonnaise? I'm taking a mayonnaise bath. It's great for my pores. Put down the Skechers. What kind of a sniveling rodent are you to make that comment? What the fuck is that? The reverse of that would be like, hey Bleeps, put down that fried chicken wing and let me tell you about the oppression of whites and what you do to us. What the hell is this oppression? I love how the oppression is never actually physical. It's not real. You can't trace it. There's no paper trail. Whereas a true test about how one group of people treats another group is crime stats. How do you inflict harm, actual harm, onto another group? And when it comes to hate crime stats, we know those are lopsided and not in the way you want them to be, Rick. When it comes to killings, Rick, we know how those go. Just how we know all violent crime stats are going. When you break it down, how is one group of people interacting with another group? So the facts are so firmly on the side of the Sketcher Americans. You know, I was gonna attach this to another longer video, but I make videos that are way too long. And I'm sick of it. It takes too long. I go on and on. This is worth a video on its own. To call attention to the ridiculous nature of this insipid bitch known as Rick Stromowitz, whatever he's hiding from. I don't know what his name is. Rick, it's not Strom. Dude, stop the fucking lies. What are we doing? But I get it. It's for the career. I mean, you're taking off. You're fucking Stromboli. Wasn't Stromboli the guy from Pinocchio? Anyway, like Pinocchio, Rick, you're a lying motherfucker. And with Pinocchio, every time he lied, his nose grew. With that knowledge in mind, I'd say you've been lying quite a bit, Rick. You might want to cease and desist. No one's been oppressing bleeps for hundreds of thousands of years, not for 400 years. All those people are dead, Rick. And when we come up to the present moment, and this might shock and horrify you, no one's being oppressed. You are wasting our motherfucking time, brah. This has been a public service announcement from the official ambassador of the white race. My name is Devon Tracey, and I'm not going to put up with this fuck shit anymore, Rick. You're a clown and a joke. Kindly remove your beak from the asshole of Colin Kaepernick. You're a bitch. Bye.
Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick, Kaepernick, Kaepernick and Kaepernick, Kaepernick, Kaepernick.
Wait till it says recording.
There's no sense in telling me the wisdom of a fool won't set you free. But that's the way that goes, and it's what nobody knows. Well, every day my confusion grows. every time I see you falling, I get down my